how to deal with difficult people. Here it is. Don't. You got it? People who are consistently difficult. That doesn't mean they're not going along with your rules or how you want them to be or all of that. But those who have a constant state of agitation or harassment or foul language, or, you know, it's like my great-grandmother, Nanny, she's my spiritual partner, and so beautiful to have been with her. She told this old lady she knew, this friend who was a farm lady, and her husband, but her husband was really mean. And with extremely verbally abusive, physically abusive, just nasty, 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 you know, troubled soul. But we don't have to take on troubled souls. Not at all. And so anyway, but on Friday night he'd get his paycheck and he'd always go and get completely blotto drunk with his buddies and everything, and would somehow make it home. And then she'd beat him with the frying pan. This was her way, her satisfaction. And yet when he came to and was all, he actually thought he had been in a fight. Well, yeah. And my grandma said to her sometime, well, why don't you leave? Oh, she says, oh no, it's dangerous out there in the world. Really? Do you know where most abuse takes place besides your own mind? Okay. In close relationships. People with their children or their grandchildren have been known to be incredibly abusive. These poor souls were abused, and then they continue it, and always with the fear of being found out. So lies upon lies upon lies. And you have to look at, we don't need, nor should we, if there is such a thing as should, and yes we can, be as far away from these kinds of whatever they are, poor souls, or maybe they're soulless. They have traded their goodness of who they are for something that they have derived some strange pleasure from harming others, hurting others, killing others, doing whatever it is. And what we need to do is stay away from these kinds of people. Get away as fast as you can. And what happens is, most of the time we tend, at least I did, tend to get in relationship many years ago without the knowing, would be first attraction in a sense. And that first attraction could be sexual, some past life memory, something where your program meets their program, so what they like, what you, whatever that comes. But oftentimes we don't observe and watch how this other person really is, how they are with others, what they do, and why, what we say, closeness oftentimes can build animosity between people, because we have had so many layers of rules, regulations, of what success is what failure is how we need to be in order to make money and to enjoy life or to prosper, to survive, all of this scenario. And we want to get, and then out of guilt, and it says to try and make amends perhaps, We keep ourselves involved in very, not just dysfunctional, but alien kind of relationship that is not natural to us as gods, many gods, divine beings. And what happens is many, many, many individuals who have poisoned themselves and wreak poison to everyone around them or who they influence, often raise themselves to heights of obviously incompetence, but in positions of power to hide what they don't want people to know about because it's so evil. How we break these spells is to be conscious and aware of all. And in our choices in every moment, our choice is always absolute goodness. And don't believe people say there is no good or evil, it's all in your mind. That's because they want to rationalize and godly eyes their very sick, what would you say, mindset. And the real liberation for each and every one of us is when we realize that consciousness is contagious. And we tend to take on the nature and character of people we spend time with, we're around. We want to be like or have what we want in exchange for something they want. How do you deal with difficult people? Don't. And then, by being who you are, with discernment, you will be surrounded with loving, magnificent, giving, and beautiful friends. True friends who wish you well, just as you wish others well, and endeavor for their well-being. You see, what happens? Fear. Oh, like the woman with the frying pan. She could tolerate for her few moments of pleasure of hatred because she didn't believe she could take care of herself. She made that man God, and he's not. And they're not ordained by God, and you don't need somebody between you and your God within. But what we get from teachers, true teachers, is knowledge that does liberate us and allows us to then know and have some steps that we can use to attain that full self-realization. Some people call enlightenment, but the true pleasure of our own selves in love with the divine. It's called mamattva. That means you're mine and I'm yours. And that's how it is.